Until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was disgusted with what I saw. So I said, you got to make a change, man.
It's all about fun, laugh, and getting through life. That's what it's all
I
about.
find you have everything to gain with Christ, and without him, everything to lose.
Said I'm gonna lay you down, just like a bridge over troubled water.
Hello, Shan fan. How you doing? And welcome to the show tonight. But we're kind of a little sad to start the show off tonight because one of my good friends passed away, Mr. James A. Cutler. And we want to, give comfort to his wife, Betty Cutler, daughter Kim, his sons, James, Howard, and Greg, and to all the family members there, how sorry we are about Mr. Cutler because he was such a great person, great man, great father. I mean, great husband. You cannot say anything bad about him. And we're just kind of sad tonight about his passing. So rest in peace. But on a lighter note, we have an exciting guest joining us tonight. He's a 80-year-old author of It Ain't Over Until I Say It's Over With. He's a dancer, modern and Latin jazz dancer, a model. He teaches dance. He has performed in nightclubs, dance concerts from the East Coast to the West Coast. He has performed at the Apollo, Lincoln Center, Clark Center, Madison Square Garden. He was written up in New York Times. He's produced numerous fashion concert shows all around the U.S. Mr. Dove, what can I say about you? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, Bernard Dove. How are you? How you doing?
Fine, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. I mean, you just put me to shame. Just put me to shame. I tell you, 80 years old and dancing and doing splits and twirls and swings. I don't know what to say, but hey, you are doing it. So I'm glad to see you doing that, and I'm glad to see you living, the dream that you wanted to live and everything. So briefly tell us, what is this, the meaning of this name of this book, It Ain't Over Until It's Over, and a little bit about the book.
Yes. First of all, on top of the book, it said, don't listen to the naysayers, which don't let anybody tell you to give up on something that you love to do. Always follow your dream and your passion. We all are on an expiration date while we're here, and we don't know when that's going to be. It could be any time. So while you're here, do what you love to do. And when I say it's not over, it ain't over until I say it's over, it means I'm still going to be doing the thing that I love to do until I can't do it anymore.
All right, now.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because that's how we have to do. We have to live our dream and not let anyone for our dream. So, people try to do that to you sometimes. And well, why do you want to do that? Well, you're not that good. You're not this. And then, you prove them wrong. And then you could have given up when people were saying the naysayers was talking. So that's a wonderful thing that you didn't give up on that.
Yes. A lot of my friends, if they're dancers, singers, or whatever their craft is, or thing they love to do, they don't give themselves enough time. And sometimes they want to be successful within 6 months or a year, or maybe 2 years, or so forth. There's no cap on it. We keep doing what we love to do, and whenever it's going to happen, it happens. But at least we're doing something that we want to do. And how many people get up in the morning and go out to work and say, this is what I want to do? So,
Not many. Not many.
So it's not easy, but when it happens, you feel good because this is what you're here for. And people say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If you don't do it, then when?
Mm-hmm. Did you always want to be a dancer?
Well, when I found out I was going to be a singer like Little Anthony or Frankie Lyman or Michael Jackson, my friend said, you know what? God didn't give you the voice; He gave you the feet. And I always joke about that because in the 50s coming up, we always stand on the corner and we did our doo-wop singing in the groups, like the old doo-wop groups, and that's how I started out. But I was always moving and dancing, and I always will hear people say, "Why don't you go to dance school? Why don't you go to dance school?" And so later on in the years in my team, I wanted to find out what this was really about. And it's like anything else that you love to do, go find out. Find out what it's about. So when I went to dance school, I remember my teacher saying to me, "You are natural, but you have to learn technique. And I'm going to teach you all the different styles of dancing and give you that technique from ballet, African, modern jazz, sambas, rumbas, so forth."
Okay. Why dancing? What brought you to dancing? What makes you passionate about dancing?
It's like you go into another world. And I want to say, I understand now, as the older you get, when you take it, now I understand how long people take, the men and the woman take a ballet before they 10, sometimes 15 years before they really be good. But while you dance, and you put on the years as you get older, you understand how your body works, the chemistry, and you might see somebody do a step, a dance step, but that doesn't mean you're going to look as good as the person. You got to feel it the way you feel it. We all feel music differently, and we always, and when we hear it differently. Like, so I always say, be you. Don't try to be like anybody else. Move it the way you feel it. And that's what I do, and I'm in my own world. But now as I get older, I even feel better because I dance with the music. You can feel when to change up, when to do certain steps, and that's your reward. And you don't need to marry it in. You can feel that the steps are right because you paid your dues. So now you feel it and you enjoy yourself. And then after you finish dancing, when people come over and said, "I can look at you and see that you feel the music. You feel good. It's feeding your ego."
So now tell me, Bernard, now you know when everyone goes to the Apollo, they are so scared because you know how the Apollo people are. If you ain't good, you get booed and kicked off the stage or whatever. So what was it like that night that you had to perform at the Apollo?
Well, I tell you, and I'm going to give thanks. He's no longer here, but his name is Tommy Johnson, and he was a fantastic dancer, and he's the one that gave me the opportunity to get on the Apollo stage and perform. And when I went out there to do my solo, knowing how the audience is at the Apollo, and I said to myself, just like I remember my teacher said, you dance as if it was 100 people or 1,000 people. You give your all. And that's what I did. I spent on my knees. I did things, and the people just went crazy. And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "Now I know what I'm going to be doing." Because when you impress, it's singing like Amazon. When you impress the Apollo crowd, that's your approval because that's saying that you're on time. You got your act together. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they will definitely let you know.
Yeah, they're so harsh.
Yeah. And you know what? One thing I want to say, when you're singing or tap dancing or jazz or Latin jazz, bumbo chop, do it with a passion or don't do it at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Because anything you do that you like, if it's your passion, you're going to do the best and be your best at it because that's your passion. Now, when you was at Lincoln Center and you and Miss Etta was doing the swing dance and y'all was in competition with the young people. Now, what was that like out there dance with all these young people and you and Miss Etta doing the swing, the oldest, but you came in second place?
Well, I tell you something that was amazing. And it's one that the Harlem Swing Dance Society she go by Barbara Bronx. She was the one to encourage me and Etta to get in. And I asked Etta, I said, you know what? I'm confident. I feel positive and confident in myself. And I want to get in this. And I want to show the young people that just because we are seniors, that doesn't mean we can't hang. And so I knew that we did swing dance, and she was a good follower. And that's important. When you lead, you need the woman to really follow you. And so when we went in, I said, you know what, we're gonna let it all go and then hang out. And we had about 25 couples. That's like 25 years old, up to 40, maybe up to 50. And you only can pick 3 couples with the judges, like first place, second place, and third place. And when they came over to us, and they got everybody else, and then they said, you had to clap and scream, just like you had to follow sometimes, who you like. And people screamed for us, and I said, oh my God, this is just fantastic. She was 80 years old. She was 80.
Wow.
And she said she had enough confidence in me as a dancer, as a professional dancer, to say, I know you will not do this contest if you don't think we had a chance. So she had to trust with me. Your partner got to trust you, because she falls backwards. We do that dip all the way down to the ground, and she knows I got her back, and I'm going to do the best that I can. And so it was something to tell the people, almost just like the title of my book, it ain't over until you say it's over.
Mm-hmm.
So what style of dancing would be your favorite? If you can pick only one dance to do for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, you know, that's a real hard question, but I want to say one thing. When I went into dance school, the best advice my teacher gave me was to say, if you come to my school, you're going to study everything. You're not going to leave anything out. It's like going to school, high school, or public school, and you say, well, I don't want to do English. I don't want to do math. And that doesn't make you complete. And so the idea of him saying, I'm not trying to make you a ballet dancer, but you need the ballet technique if you're going to go on Broadway or off Broadway. And so I studied everything that was there for me to study. And now I really like sometimes solo, like house music. I think that sometimes you can go into your world and you got to worry about nobody else, and you can go off. It's just like the hip hop and the disco, they all the same. It all depends on how you move. You can take an old step and do what you want with it. And I have young people say, oh, Mr. Doe, show me that step. And that step goes way back to the Roman Empire. You know? And I'm not saying that's how old it is. It's not what you do on the dance floor. It's how you look when you do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break for commercial, and we will be right back.
Well, we're back with Mr. Bernard Doug, and I mean, if you are so amazing, you know, I just can't get over how amazing you are at such a young age, you know? So what is it like? Because I know you teach the seniors also and the young people. So what is it like when you're teaching the seniors?
Well, what's amazing about it is that all the seniors, sometimes I have a class with like 35 a senior, and I teach jazz line dance. And the reason why I call it jazz line dance because I use a lot of jazz even when I do my swing dancing. They call it salsa now, but I still call it like mambo and cha-cha. I put a lot of jazz to it. And so they always come and they say, well, I want to move like you. And I think the African dance, number one, that gave me the ability to move my shoulders and body and contractions and do the things, isolation with my body to make you do it. The more you can move, the more exciting you look. And so, and not only when I teach them a jazz line dance, I also tell them afterwards that the nutrition, you are what you eat. So I don't want them to doing all the exercise, and if they don't want to do line dancing, you can do Zumba, you can do walking, you can do any kind of thing, but your body will shut you down if you don't do anything. But I don't want you to do all this exercise, then afterwards run the Popeyes.
I know someone who does that.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
They shall remain, you know.
That's not gonna.
Say nothing.
So Bernard, so if I come and take the class and I learn how to dance and do my dance and everything like that. I mean, I can stop at Popeyes and get a little leg or wing or something, then go home and exercise off, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, yes, you can. Everything is in moderation.
No.
Yeah, everything is in moderation.
There's nothing in moderation of Popeye.
Listen, nothing.
You know,
Not if it come in a bucket.
yeah,
No.
Yeah. But I tell you what, my main diet of meat is fish. Salmon, halibut, cod, red snapper, and a lot of vegetables. Asparagus, kale, spinach, collard greens. Beans are very good. And why beans are very good? Because it's a complete protein and everything.
Okay.
I don't get too much of the pork. My family's from the South, and I think I had enough of ham, bacon, and sausage. You know? And so that's why it's a lot of sodium. And a lot of people don't understand the nutrition. Today you have to read the labels of what is in the food that you're going to eat.
Absolutely.
And you got to understand that because, and I tell the models that I work with, or even the seniors, that if you're sitting down 5 days a week, 8 or 7 or 9 hours, and you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which I don't eat all that much. Where do you think that's going to go if you're not burning it off? It's going to accumulate.
Very true.
Yeah. And so if you don't, the body's going to shut you down if you don't move. Yeah. It's a machine. You got to move it or you'll lose it.
Yes. Well, you know, Bernard, I can relate to you with the dancing and stuff because I remember when I was 10, I was in a dance group, professional dance group. We used to travel. And it was like so exhilarating just to come out on the stage to dance and to perform. It was like you said before, it was just like you were someplace else. You know, this just something that was just totally different. Because back then I used to dance. I mean, I feel like the dance today is just I can't move like you move today because I'm not doing what you said do to keep the body moving. You know, you're not exercising like you're supposed to exercise and everything like that. But like even when I was taking African dancing, now that's the dance to learn how to do because it works the whole body. When you finish African dancing, your body is hurting when you finish that. But it's just the excitement of the movements and the hidden drums beating. I mean, I just love African dancing.
Yes, it's all about the drums. That's what moves you. And when you got good drummers and they're drumming, you got to move off of that. There's nothing else because I always tell people you got to feel it in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And the drum keeps you like really movement, and you start really enjoying what you're doing with it. And when I start dancing, there's always somebody that come over and say something about the dancing. And I'm more even pleased at my age now when I go to even Washington Square Park, which I just left there over the weekend, and when they had house music on, and I just let go and dance and everything else. And when people find out how old I am, they stunned. Sometimes I got to go and show them my license for them to believe it. They say, who moves like that? And one thing I want to say, it's about taking care of yourself. You got to pamper yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of you, who's going to do it? And
No one.
sometimes you got to
That's true.
relax. And sometimes I relax and Epsom salt in the tub and stay in there for 20 or 25 minutes, and it soothes the whole body. You got to pamper and take care of yourself and eat right. If you're without your health, you can forget about it.
Yeah, it's
So what
very
would you
important.
say to the young kids? What would you say to the young kids today that's interested in dancing and have a passion for dancing? You know, what would you say to them today? What they should do and everything?
Well, I would tell them, first of all, is that try to go and get the support, especially from the family, because sometimes when I was coming up, you don't have that support, that people don't look at it that serious. And that's a problem like in my generation when I came up. But I think parents, father or mother, or if it's one parent and so forth, got to pay attention to what the child likes. And you got to follow through and stay on top of it. And sometimes you can be deviated from friends or other people to tell you, oh, well, it's not that really important. Yes, it is. What you love to do is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And you stay with what you love to do because it's what makes you happy. And what makes you happy, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so I tell them, stay with what you want to do and learn many of the dances. And I tell, especially if you're doing hip hop, the young ones, I say learn African dancing, and you can apply it to your hip hop and probably do the steps even better.
I have a question. Okay.
Because
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, because when you have kids, go ahead on, Allison.
You talk.
Right. So let's say as a young person, you want to practice doing splits, because I haven't done splits since I was like 5. What would you recommend to do for exercises? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, I tell you one thing I got from my teacher is that even if you're not dancing, you have to tone the muscles with stretching.
Okay.
And when we first came into the class, we wasn't allowed to jump around or do anything. He was strict, like no looking out the window, talking or leaning against the bar. You had to stand up straight for your posture to make you look presentable like a dancer. And you did your stretching so the muscles can be really flexible. And then you went into whatever he wanted to give you. And then at the end of the class, or the cool down, you stretched a little bit more. And why you did more stretching at the end? Because all your muscles are warm. When your muscles are warm, they stretch better. You see? And so you got to stretch, because when you're limbered from stretching, you can move better and everything. And if not, you can pull a muscle very easy. And it depends on the individual. Some people can stretch more than others, but you do it to your limitations and the best that you can to do it. Like you said, somersault flips and all that. If you enjoy it, stay with it. Stay with it. It's easy. And a lot of times my friends were doing a lot of other things, but I went off and did what I wanted to do because I want to be a leader, not a follower.
Exactly. So Bernard, now that you have, you're a dancer, you've been modeling, you do shows, you do fashion shows, you do fashion concerts. Now you have written your book. Okay, so what's next for Bernard? Like, okay, what are we gonna do now to turn the world over?
Well, you know what? When August the 6th came and I got 80 years old, and I said, you know what? You're on the clock now. And I said, you're going to make each day very important. And you're going to make each day doing what you want to do and what you love to do. And I said, now when I get on the dance floor, if it's swing dancing, if it's freestyle disco or mixed with a little hip hop, or if it's mambo or cha-cha, I don't worry about who's looking or who's going to be criticized me afterwards. I just let it go and enjoy myself. I just get into my world and say, this is me. And so far, when I let it go, because I'm not intimidated for the people, because no matter, even if you're good, there's some people going to say they don't like you anyway. So, but that's not your problem. You just do what you got to do. Don't worry about the naysayers. They're going to say a lot of things about you, but you don't worry. You do what you got to do. And sometimes they like it too, but they just don't want to give you credit.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Britta? This is. I'm glad you said that, because I am so happy that God has kept me this long to become a senior, so I can say what I want to say and do what I want to do, and don't care what everybody thinks or what they say or think. When people be like, "Well, I don't know why you saying it," it's like you don't care whether they like it or not. So growing old gracefully and becoming a senior citizen is wonderful. It's wonderful. You say what you want to say, and you don't care what they want to do, because you're gonna do just like you said. At a certain age, when you start going the other way, because you're not going the young way, we're getting ready to depart this earth. So, like you said, each day you do what you want to do and live the life the way you want to do.
Yeah, and I want to
don't
say,
worry about what nobody else is saying.
Yeah, if I might say this. And you know, for my resume, I have did fashion shows and dance shows, and I try to tell the models that stick with what you love to do, if it's singing and so forth, but don't let anyone come in your life and say, well, I'm the man, you do what I say, or I don't want you to dance with this one, I don't want you to do this, I don't want. Nobody comes in and tell you what you should do. And if you're in a marriage, you know, it's always something working together, and you support whoever wants to do this, you support it. But I don't like when a man will come in a woman's life and tell her that she can't dance with a certain person, or he don't want her to do this. You got to be strong, and you got to know where you're going. You got to know where your direction is. And you don't let nobody interfere.
It's trust. It's all about trust.
That's right.
Trust your man dance with another woman, then you don't need him. If you can't trust each other, it's all about trust. So what if you go to dance with someone else?
It's only dancing,
right?
Yeah. Well, when you do
it's so jealous.
When you do the Lindy Hop and the Mambo, when you dance and like Etta will fall backwards almost to the ground, and I would catch her, that's trust. Like what you're talking about. And when you got that trust, then you don't have to worry about everything. And that goes in with your relationship too. Boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife. If it's not there, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But nobody trusts each other today. No one is committed.
What's that?
They're not committed in relationships like they used to be. No, now if something happens, I'm out of here.
It's a different time. It's a different time now, and people look at things that's different. But just like I would tell my daughter and everything, is that I've been up and down the block, so I know what I'm talking about. And everything has to be earned. Friendship, love, and everything has to be earned. And it has to be earned on your time. And you don't let nobody talk over you and let them dictate to you what's supposed to be done and when it's supposed to be done. It's done on your anything, on your terms, and everything has to be earned.
Because sometimes, a lot of times, like in relationships, when someone has a dream and they want to follow their dream, and the other person, stands in their way or say, well, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that or whatever. It also makes resentment. Like if you didn't do it, then years later you resent that person because you didn't do what you wanted to do. But they was doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, what I tell you one thing is that I always put what I love and my dreams and my passion was my priority number one. And I don't care what went on and what was around me and what I was doing, job, relationship, or anything, nothing interfere with that of where I was going. That's why I'm able to talk to you today about what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Bernard, we really appreciate you coming on the show. You have definitely been an inspiration to me. And I need to get moving and stay out of Popeyes. That's what I learned today. But we definitely want to thank you and hang tight for our after show so that we can talk more to Mr. Bernard.
So we have to have Allison to stay out of Kentucky.
I don't eat that. I don't eat that. Now, if it's Kentucky and Trinidad, you bugging. You're bugging. That's the best chicken on planet Earth. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one more thing? Is that if when you go into McDonald's or Popeyes or Wendy's or so forth, it's about what and who is putting what in your food. And when you can't see what people are doing, that's what bothers me. It's not so much Popeye, it's about what's going on and what's in the back, in the kitchen, and what are they putting into the food like. And when you're cooking, you know exactly what you're putting in the food and what you're doing. But when you're in a restaurant, if it's Popeye or classy restaurant, you don't know what's going on. And that's very important to know
exactly
what's in your food when you're eating, because you are what you eat.
Well, thank you, Bernard. And I promise you that I'm not going to Popeyes or Kentucky or McDonald's, okay? I'm going to find out where you're going to be teaching dance at. I'm going to come and learn your dance, your line dancing and all like that. I'll bring these two ladies with me because they need to come as well. So we're going to
and one thing,
everybody for watching the show today.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing?
After show.
Can I say one more thing?
And as always, we'll see you next time.
I just want to tell you.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies. It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. What would you say tonight?
I want to thank Carol Nelson for her expertise and all the help and the ideas that she helped me to get this book together. I want to thank
our number one bestseller, Kara A. Nelson, number one bestseller of children's book, Miss Kara A. Nelson. Yeah, she is the greatest. She's the best. She's there for anyone who needs any help, with anything. And if someone is interested in getting a book published, you can contact Kara on Nelson on her Facebook and YouTube. She's doing publishing now, so which is great. So when I write my thriller, I will be calling her to help me put the book together now.
A thriller.
Of course, I'm gonna write my thriller of everything that has happened to me since my young days to my old days, because stuff has happened to me that you wouldn't believe that happened to me.
Is it going to be the unabridged version?
Yeah, I'm sure you want to know.
Okay.
I know.
Because when you out here schooling us, I'm like, chapter 3, page 12, paragraph 3. You did this.
The dirt should be in the dirt.
This.
The dirt should be in chapter 6. You'd be surprised. Everybody got skeletons. Don't try to walk around here and act like you're so innocent, because you're not.
Oh no, I wear my skeletons. You can't go find them. They with me. They with me. They with me. My skeletons.
Bernard, are you in Etta still dancing? Are you in Etta still dancing?
Not as much as we used to, and we used to go to special events and different things. And what makes it so great is that what we do, most people always expect young people to be doing all the kind of things that we do. And this will make it great when they see her, and she's much older than me, and the things that she does.
Yeah.
And that inspires a lot of ladies that will come up and say, you know, when I get her age, I want to move like that too. It's very inspiring. Exactly. It's the same way with the men with me, when they find out how old I am and the way I'm moving, they want to get into it, take care of themselves, and they want to move like how I move, like. And it's all narrows down to taking care of yourself, because without your health, you cannot do it.
But see, you and Etta are like role models. Like when people see you dancing together, you're like role models, because when you stand there and like you could, like I said, when you and her is dancing and you do this swing and then she go all the way down to the floor and you have a hold of the we're like, oh, what, is he gonna drop her or what? You know, you be expecting something to happen. And the way you can just move like that goes to show you that age is just a number. It's just a number.
Yeah, well, Etta is a natural. She feels the music and she moves the way how she feels it. But the best thing about her, since she did a lot of ballroom dancing like tango, foxtrot, and waltz, and so forth, and swing, she knows how to follow. And she always tell her ladies, follow the lead. Don't do what you want to do. He's the lead, so follow him. And if he's a good lead, he's going to make you look good, and he's going to look good.
And see, another person who's older, Ma Betty, you know Kara's mother, Miss Betty.
Yes.
Now Betty be out there swinging and dancing. Now I be like, hold up, now. I tell Kara, I said, your mother got it going on better than you, girl, and you better. I said, she out dancing.
Yeah. Betty dances
good. Miss Betty got it going on. Miss Betty got it going on. I tell you, I'm gonna be like Miss Betty.
Be like Miss Betty when I grow up.
No, right?
Yeah,
but I just want to say one thing.
So
when we go dance, the seniors love it. When we go dance with a lot of seniors, because they always expect it's going to be a young couple. But when they see an older couple come, they really appreciate it. Like to say, oh, it's like almost, it's one of us. It's somebody our age dancing. And they really love it. Like to say, it's not like somebody 25 or 35. When they look and see seniors like us doing it, it's very inspiring and they love it. They really love it. And we get a lot of bookings from that because they're doing a lot of social clubs and a lot of dances. And they say, would you dance at our event? And because of our age and we older, it sells a lot.
So, Mr. Bernard, we want you, we're going to close out now. We want you to, when everything is over with, because we know we can't do nothing now with the pandemic going on, but, you know, once we get back into the swing of things, if you and Miss Etta or any of them dancing anywhere, please let us know so we can come and see y'all dance, because people really need to see y'all dance, because they're not going to believe it just like we talking, but they have to see it to believe it. So please let us know. You know, if you start that dancing anywhere.
Oh, definitely.
Whether it's a club or Lincoln Center. Huh?
Yeah. I'll definitely let you know, because Because
Yes.
when we walk in and look, go to Dan, people, because she's short, and people look, and they have no idea of her ability. But once you get on the floor and people
Yes.
look, it's
Uh-huh.
like,
Lord, drop it.
Mhm.
they look like to say, am I seeing things or am I dreaming? Because the way
Oh.
she walks, it's really something. It's almost like you can't judge a book by its cover.
Cover.
You never know what a person can do.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again for taking the time
Thank
to join
you.
us. And I just want you to know how much we admire you, and to know that at this stage of life that you are enjoying life. Because that's the most important thing, is to enjoy life. You
Yes.
shouldn't just go through life being stressed out all the time and letting people stress you out and stuff like that, because life can be wonderful. Everybody goes through something. We all go through something, but it's how we get up and put ourselves back together and keep it moving. So when you love what you do and you keep doing it, that's the most important thing that can happen. Because at least this way, if we go tomorrow or you go tomorrow, you can say, Bernard enjoyed his life. Like I can say, Shannon has enjoyed her life. That's what I told my daughter. You can put on my tombstone, Shannon enjoyed her life, because I have enjoyed my life. So I'm not complaining. I thank God every day I'm a blessed child. Yes, I've been stressed. I've gone through stuff, but hey, I pick myself up and keep it moving, because that's what we have to do. So thank you again for coming on. I'm looking forward to coming to see you dance wherever you and Ed are going to be dancing at, or whoever your partner is going to be. And thank you again. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
And we'll
Thank
see
you.
again.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.